Hi fans, how you doing? Ronnie B here again. Yeah, that's what they call me, Ronnie B. Ron Bishop, Timaru, New Zealand, only one. Just as well, the only one made one of me. Oh, listen, you sleep well last night? I had a bloody good sleep. By Jesus, I'm sleeping well. And I'll tell you why, just a minute. I'll tell you why I'm sleeping so well. See this? You know what this is called? This is called a blister pack. I get it from the chemist. Every Friday they drop in a blister pack. And it's got all my pills in it. You see, there's one there for me peeing, because you know I had prostate cancer, didn't you? Oh yeah. So my peeing wasn't very straight, you see, so I got a pill for that. Now, I'm peeing bloody good now. There's one there for my brain, because I get a bit excited sometimes, you know. I've got they reckon it's called Alzheimer's. No, not I've got Alzheimer's, yeah, that's right. There's one there for me Alzheimer's. And there's one there for me, what do they call it? Manic depression, or what do they call it? Bipolar disorder. I got to take one of them, because I get excited sometimes. I get a bit excited, and sometimes I get a bit depressed. But now I'm on the pill. I'm on the pills now, and I take them regular, and I sleep well. And I tell you what, the bloody doctor doesn't know what to do with me, because I've got no symptoms anymore. No more prostate cancer. No more symptoms of bipolar disorder. My brain, I can remember everybody's name and everybody's face, and I still know how to wipe my bum. I don't have to get anyone to wipe my bum. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty healthy, actually. All because I'm on the pills. I'm on the pills. Remember years ago when the pill first came out, I was about 23, 24, just got married. and Russell, a mate of mine, we had a party at home, and he went around to all the women and he said, "Have you taken the pill yet? Have you taken your pill tonight?" You know, because the pill just came out, eh? Stop people having babies. Stop women having babies. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about women having babies. I'm here to talk about a sermon. It's Sunday today. Did you know that? And every day I give a sermon. And today I thought I'd give a sermon on forgiveness. Right? Just a minute. I'll get me things to. I'll just have a listen here. I'm not too sure whether I've done this right. Just a minute. Yeah, I just had a listen. It's okay. It sounds right. It's just me. Okay. Now I've got three things I want to talk about today. One I've got written down here is one word. It's called honesty. Honesty. And underneath that I've got Mum's purse. What's that all about? Well, we have to be honest. We have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with other people. But unfortunately, when God made us, there was that bloke that ate the apple. What's his name? Adam? He ate the apple off the tree because God said, "Don't eat that apple because that's the tree of, I don't know what it was, some sort of a tree anyway." But anyway, he ate the apple and he went and he did bad stuff, you know. As soon as he ate the apple, he started doing bad stuff. And it's all about a snake and everything. It's all in the Bible. It's all in there. I haven't read it all, but, you know, you can't read the whole lot, can you? But it says we are born sinners. In other words, that's what I'm saying. We are born to be sinners. We do things wrong, right? We're dishonest. Now, I'm not going to point fingers at other people, because everybody does something wrong. First of all, let me tell you about the things that I've done wrong. One thing I did wrong once, I remember Mum took me to the races. Mum and Dad took me to the races. What they called a picnic meeting. That's where the racehorses, there was non-totes. You can't back on the totalisator, you can't choose a horse. You just go and buy a ticket. And this was at the Parongia sale, not the Parongia sale, the Parongia races, just out of Timaru. And we went along there, and Mum would give us half a crown. Half a crown was 2 and 6 penny. 2 and 6. Because that's how much the tickets cost in those days, right? We're talking about the 1950s or something like that. 40s, late 40s. Anyway, Mum would give us a half crown to buy a ticket, you see. We could buy a ticket, and none of my horses won. And then all of a sudden Mum said, "Right, you've had enough, Ronnie, I'm not giving you any more money. That's it. But Mum, I want buy another ticket. You're not buying another ticket, she said. So when Mum wasn't looking, you know what I did? I put my hand in her purse and I pinched a half-crown. I pinched a 2 and 6 penny bit. And I went and bought a ticket on this horse. And the bloody horse won. Bolted it did. And I got all this money, you see. And I come back to Mum with all this money. I said, Mum, look at all the money I won. Where? How'd you do that? She said, I said, I bought a ticket and the horse won. She said, where'd you get the half-crown from? I said, I found it on the ground. And Mum was so excited. She said, look, she was telling all her friends how I'd won all this money. I found a 2 and 6 penny bit on the ground, a half-crown on the ground, and it backed on the horse and it won. Guess what? I never told her. I pinched it out of her purse. Mum died of cancer. I remember going along to see her die. She was lying in the hospital. I knew she was going to die. She had cancer. And I started asking her questions about my family because I could see all my history going and I wanted to know about my auntie and who so-and-so was and stuff like that. And she said, Ron, I've been trying to tell you these things all your life, but you would never ever listen. But anyway, I wanted to tell her about pinching the money out of the purse. But you can't tell your mother that you stole from her when she's dying, can you? On a deathbed. That wouldn't be very nice for Mum, would it? But I feel guilty, you see, because I'm a bloody sinner. I shouldn't have pinched that money. That was wrong. Now I want to tell you another story about Christine. Christine was a girl I hired, and she was dishonest. I'm sorry, Christine, but you were dishonest. You did something bad to me. And I had to sack her because she was dishonest. I'm not going to tell you what she did. It's all online. In fact, the 650 of my videos online. If you go in and you type in employment, Ron E. Bishop, Timaru NZ, employment, you'll be able to read the whole story about me and Christine. Because I was 5 years. 5 years fighting it. I couldn't work. Wasn't able to work. I got all these illnesses during the time when I was fighting Christine because she was dishonest. And the law said she was not dishonest. The judge said she wasn't dishonest. And the lawyers, and it's just, it cost me $35,000 I had to pay her. It ruined me. And I wanted revenge, and I wanted to do something to her. I was angry. And my family were angry. And I was keeping going, and I just wanted to get revenge. But all of a sudden, God said to me, talking to Jesus the other day, and he said, listen, Ron, forget it. It's a history. It's done. You lost the bloody case. You can't fight the law. New Zealand law is the law. Yeah, they're right. You can't fight the law. However, the law is wrong. I still believe the law is wrong. I still believe that you should be able to sack someone without having to go to court over it. If someone is dishonest, you should be able to sack them, shouldn't you? But in New Zealand you can't, you see, because of the system. It's wrong. However, I have to get over it. And I have to forgive Christine for putting it across me. She put it across me big time, but I have to forgive her. And I have. In fact, I pray for Christine all the time. Because it wasn't her fault. She's a sinner. She's just like me. Just like everybody else. We're all sinners. We do stuff wrong. Just recently, you heard about the argument I had with Andrew and Philip Waring when I went up into the logs. Big row. Oh yeah, big row. Who was in the wrong? All of us were in the wrong. Andrew's fault. my fault, Philip Waring's fault. We're all at fault. But it happened. And we can't change what happened. We have to move on. We have to carry on. But how the hell do you do it when you know you're in the right? Ask Jesus. Ask Jesus. Become a Christian. Mate of mine, I call him a mate. I haven't even met the man, but I only met him on cassette tapes and videos and stuff like that. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. What a great man he was. He was a minister of religion, but he was a positive thinker. He preached positive thinking and religion at the same time. And I was listening to one of his videos the other day, and he said he was invited to go and talk to a group of business people, you see. And they gave him instructions. They said, now don't preach religion. When you go to talk to these men, don't preach religion, because some of them have got different religions and we don't want to get them upset. So he went along, and so Dr. Vincent Peale went along, and he gave the speech, and he didn't mention Jesus, and he didn't mention God, he didn't do anything, and it was a blimmin' good motivational speech, you see. And the boss man came to him after, he said, by gee, that was a good speech. You should use that in a sermon in your church. Positive thinking and Christianity go well together, because the teachings of Christianity is positive thinking. You know, the black Jesus went around the world telling people about positive thinking. And some of them were negative. People he was talking to were negative thinkers, right? And he said, you don't think that way, you think this way. Oh, they got angry, the people. They didn't like to be told what to do. They got angry, you see. But Jesus stood his ground, and he said, no, you're wrong. You're doing it all wrong. You got to do it this way. And they got wild. You know what they did? They went to the boss man, Pontius Pilate or whatever his name was, and said, we want this man charged, you know, because he's going around upsetting people, like I do, you know. And he didn't do nothing, this Pontius Pilate fella. And then he didn't. So they got hold of this Jesus back, and they put him on this cross, and they put nails in his hands, nailed him to some wood, you know. And you know what Jesus said? Forgive them, Lord. Forgive them, Father. They don't know what they're doing. That's what he said. Forgive them. They hung him up on this cross, and did he get wild? No, he said, forgive them. I'll be back. And he came back. He came back. And he said, listen, I'm back again. He couldn't kill me. Because I'm invincible. Because you see, I am God's son. This is a story. It's a true story. And he said, you can't kill my spirit. I'm a spirit. So I got Jesus now. He's got no body, but he's in my heart. How the hell did he get in my heart? Well, I asked him in there. I said, Jesus, I'm sorry for pinching that money out of my mother's purse. Yes, we all do it, don't we? Little kids. Johnny, Janet and John. Two brothers and sisters, Janet and John. And mother always used to have the lollies in the lolly jar. And there was only two lollies left in the lolly jar. And the kids weren't allowed them, you see. But they sneaked in and they got these lollies. And they pinched them. They had one each. One for Janet and one for John. And mother come along and said, where did those lollies go? There were two lollies in that jar. What happened to them? Who pinched them? Janet said John did. John said Janet did. I didn't do it. He did it. She did it. Happens, doesn't it? All the time. Wasn't my fault. His fault. Everybody's fault. But your own. When we had the blow up with Christine before I sacked her, I was pretty angry, but I apologised to her. I said, "Listen, I haven't been very nice to you. I'm very sorry." And of course, as soon as I apologised, she thought I was admitting wrong, and that's why she sued me, because she reckoned I admitted it wrong. Of course I did it wrong, but she did it wrong too, you see. But she didn't want to admit that she'd done it wrong. You know what I'm saying here? Listen, I don't know whether I've got this message right. I'm just going to have a listen to see whether I've said it right. Just a minute. Yeah, I had a listen. It's right. It's exactly what Jesus said. You see, it wasn't me speaking. It was God speaking through me. Right? Because God does that. Once you become a Christian, He will speak. The words that you start speaking will be from God. I used to be a sheep shearer. I told you that, didn't I? In the shearing shed, there's a lot of bad language. I knocked around with a few people with bad language. The F word, right? That flows quite freely in shearing sheds, and a lot of with men. And I don't like the F word. I don't use the F word. I'll swear a lot on here. I'll say bloody and things like that, and hell and Christ and all stuff like that. But you'll never hear me speak the F word, you see. And even though I try to be funny, I don't use the F word. Because a lot of comedians use the F word to try and get people to laugh. I don't do that. However, the F word is buried in my subconscious mind. And sometimes I get really angry. I get angry with my wife. I get angry with my kids. I get angry. And sometimes the F word slips out. Because it's already in there. When I'm angry, the F word comes out at home. True story. But Jesus changed that when I became a Christian. I stopped using the F word. I don't use it in my everyday language. Okay? Because Jesus speaks through me. And today He's speaking through me. You know what He's telling me? He's telling me to give you a message. And the message is this. If you're not a Christian, if you're not a born-again Christian, if you haven't confessed your sins to God, if you haven't said to God, I'm sorry for all that stuff I did, and if you haven't asked Jesus to forgive you, then you're not a Christian. And you don't know what you're missing out on, because it's bloody good. Let me tell you something. When I first became a Christian, they just said, I was going to commit suicide. Oh yeah, I was in a hell of a mess. But anyway, Jesus saved me. And when I became a Christian, I wanted to know as much as I could about Christianity. And I went along to the seminar, and they taught me about the spiritual gifts. God has given us all certain spiritual gifts, right? And one of my spiritual gift, after I went to the seminar, I learned that my spiritual gift was this gift of mercy. Okay? I cry easily. I have a soft spot for the down and out people. I have mercy on other people. I have mercy on Christine. I have mercy on Andrew, Philip, and all these other people that I've been in arguments with. I feel for them. Okay? That's the spiritual gift that God has given me. And He's also given me the spiritual gift of teaching. That's why I'm doing these seminars, because I'm a good speaker. It's a spiritual gift that God's given me. You may not have those spiritual gifts. You might have the spiritual gift of administration, or helps is another one. You're probably a person who makes the cup of tea. When there's a gathering, you're the one that makes the cup of tea. I don't make the cup of tea. That's not my spiritual gift. God didn't say your job's to make cups of tea. God wants me to speak. He wants me to speak every day on this video. Every Sunday he wants me to give a sermon. That's what he's telling me to do. That's why I'm doing it. I'm doing as I'm told. Okay? And he's telling me right now to tell you that if you're not a born-again Christian, if you haven't said sorry to God, or sorry to Jesus, God's Son, if you haven't said that, get down on your knees now and say sorry for all those things I've done. Come into my life, Jesus. Get into my heart here and become part of me and guide me down the pathway of life. Because it's tough out there. Bloody tough. But with Jesus, it's not tough. Because he takes away the worry. He takes away the fear. See, I don't worry about nothing. And I have no fear about anybody. I don't fear anymore. Because I'm full of God's love. Love for other people. Oh, I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect. But listen, it's not about being perfect. It's about being happy in life. It's about having peace in your heart, knowing full well, yes, I stole from my mother, and yes, it was the wrong thing to do, but now that I've got Jesus saying, that's fine, Ron, you didn't know what you're doing. Just like Jesus, when they crucified Jesus, the people that crucified him didn't know what they're doing. He said that. Jesus said, leave them alone, God. They don't know what they're doing. We do these things. We don't know what we're doing. Okay? Listen, I love you all. Andrew, Philip, all you guys, you're great fellas. And listen, I got to go. I put this up. And Mum's calling me for lunch. What's the time? Well, 25 to 12. I've got the spa on. I'm going to have a spa tonight. I've filled it up again. That'll keep me warm. See you tomorrow, folks. Don't forget. Say sorry to Jesus. And forgive all those people that have put it across you. Wasn't their fault. Okay? Love you all. Bye-bye.